Want to speak real Greek from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at GreekPod101.com.
First, you'll see an image and hear a question. Next comes a short dialogue. Listen carefully and see if you can answer correctly. We'll show you the answer at the end. Are you ready?
Ένας άντρας και μια γυναίκα μιλάνε. Πόσων χρονών είναι ο άντρας τώρα? Τα γενέθλιά σου είναι πολύ σύντομα.
Ναι, είναι μεθαύριο.
Πόσων χρονών θα γίνεις?
Γίνομαι 60 χρονών.
Συγχαρητήρια! Ας το γιορτάσουμε!
Σε ευχαριστώ πολύ. Είμαι πολύ ευγνώμων.
Πόσων χρονών είναι ο άντρας τώρα? Ένας άντρας και μια γυναίκα μιλάνε. Πόσων χρονών είναι ο άντρας τώρα? Τα γενέθλιά σου είναι πολύ σύντομα.
Ναι, είναι μεθαύριο.
Πόσων χρονών θα γίνεις?
Γίνομαι 60 χρονών.
Συγχαρητήρια! Ας το γιορτάσουμε!
Σε ευχαριστώ πολύ. Είμαι πολύ ευγνώμων.
First, you'll see an image and hear a question. Next comes a short dialogue. Listen carefully and see if you can answer correctly. We'll show you the answer at the end. Are you ready?
Ένας άντρας και μια γυναίκα μιλάνε. Ποιο ρολόι κοιτάζουν και τι ώρα είναι?
Ξέρεις τι ώρα είναι?
Λυπάμαι, ξέχασα το ρολόι μου σήμερα.
Μάλιστα. Ανησυχώ για το αν θα μπορέσουμε να προλάβουμε το τρένο.
Υπάρχει ένα ρολόι στην είσοδο του σταθμού.
Ωραία. Όχι. Το τρένο έρχεται σε 5 λεπτά.
Αυτό είναι το τρένο των 10, σωστά?
Ναι, καλύτερα να βιαστούμε.
Ποιο ρολόι κοιτάζουν και τι ώρα είναι? Ένας άντρας και μια γυναίκα μιλάνε. Ποιο ρολόι κοιτάζουν και τι ώρα είναι?
Ξέρεις τι ώρα είναι?
Λυπάμαι, ξέχασα το ρολόι μου σήμερα.
Μάλιστα. Ανησυχώ για το αν θα μπορέσουμε να προλάβουμε το τρένο.
Υπάρχει ένα ρολόι στην είσοδο του σταθμού.
Ωραία. Όχι. Το τρένο έρχεται σε 5 λεπτά.
Αυτό είναι το τρένο των 10, σωστά?
Ναι, καλύτερα να βιαστούμε.
First, you'll see an image and hear a question. Next comes a short dialogue. Listen carefully and see if you can answer correctly. We'll show you the answer at the end. Are you ready?
Ένας άντρας και μια γυναίκα μιλάνε. Πόσοι άνθρωποι συνολικά θα έρθουν στο πάρτι?
Το πάρτι θα γίνει αύριο.
Ποιος θα έρθει στο πάρτι?
Εμείς οι δύο φίλοι μου και ο δάσκαλος.
Άρα θα είμαστε 5.
Ο δάσκαλος θα έρθει με τη σύζυγό του.
Οκ. Πόσοι άνθρωποι συνολικά θα έρθουν στο πάρτι? Ένας άντρας και μια γυναίκα μιλάνε. Πόσοι άνθρωποι συνολικά θα έρθουν στο πάρτι?
Το πάρτι θα γίνει αύριο.
Ποιος θα έρθει στο πάρτι?
Εμείς οι δύο φίλοι μου και ο δάσκαλος.
Άρα θα είμαστε 5.
Ο δάσκαλος θα έρθει με τη σύζυγό του.
Οκ.
Η πρώην κοπέλα μου.
Πέτρο, είσαι καλά?
Ναι, είμαι καλά. Αυτή είναι η κοπέλα μου η Έλλη. Είναι από την Καλαμάτα.
Ωραία, χαίρομαι πολύ. Είστε εδώ για διακοπές?
Ναι. Πέτρο, είμαι κουρασμένη. Πάμε στο ξενοδοχείο.
Ναι, πάμε.
Περίμενε. Αυτό είναι το τηλέφωνό μου. 2, 1, 0, 7, 7, 0, 4, 6, 3, 8.
Εντάξει.
Και το κινητό μου είναι 6, 9, 3, 2, 5, 5, 5, 9, 1, 0.
Ωραία.
Είναι εύκολο. 6, 9, 3, 2, 3 φορές. Το 5, 9, 1, 0.
Ευχαριστώ.
Ποιο είναι το τηλέφωνό σου?
Δεν το θυμάμαι. Λυπάμαι.
Πάμε.
Παρακαλώ.
Μία πορτοκαλάδα, παρακαλώ.
Εγώ θέλω ένα νερό.
Αυτά είναι όλα?
Ναι.
Βεβαίως. Ορίστε η πορτοκαλάδα, το νερό και ο λογαριασμός.
Ζέστη,
Ναι, κάνει πολύ ζέστη. Μου αρέσει η ζέστη. Στη Γερμανία βρέχει τώρα και κάνει κρύο. Είσαι από τη Γερμανία? Ναι, από το Βερολίνο. Με λένε Αντρέα. Χαίρομαι πολύ, Αντρέα. Εγώ είμαι η Έλλη.
Και εγώ είμαι ο Πέτρος.
Χαίρομαι πολύ. Είστε από την Αθήνα?
Όχι, κάνουμε διακοπές εδώ.
Τι δουλειά κάνετε?
Εγώ δουλεύω ως δάσκαλος. Η Έλλη σπουδάζει ακόμα.
Want to speak real Greek from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at GreekPod101.com.
In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings used in Greece. Είστε έτοιμοι? Are you ready? Ξεκινάμε. So let's start. The most used informal greeting is ya. Ya. Ya means hi, hello, or goodbye. We use it when we meet, but also when we leave. We should only use this greeting with friends or relatives. If you want to be more formal, you need to pay attention to the time of day. The most common phrase is kalimera. Kalimera. Literally, kalimera means good day. However, we may also interpret it as good morning or good afternoon. As a rule of thumb, we can use kalimera only during the daytime, from morning until early afternoon. During the late afternoon and evening, we say kalispera. Kalispera. Espera or spera is ancient Greek for the part of the day after sunset. So kalispera means good afternoon or good evening. Kalimera and kalispera are used when we meet someone, but when we leave, we don't say them again. In this formal situation, Greek people use adio. Adio. Adio means goodbye. If you're leaving after around 8 p.m., you can say kalinichta, which literally means good night. Kalinichta. Finally, it is very common in Greek to use the informal hi we introduced in the beginning of this lesson as a parting greeting as well. Ya. Ya. Now you can greet people in many different ways in Greek. Let's review them all again. When greeting in an informal situation, we say ya. When greeting in a formal situation, we say kalimera or kalispera. When leaving in a formal situation, adio. When leaving in an informal situation, ya. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Chris's insights. In formal situations, Greek people commonly greet each other by shaking hands. On the other hand, if we meet someone we are very friendly with, we kiss each other on both cheeks. Don't be afraid to do it with your Greek friends. It's normal. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Greek. There are only 2 sentences you need to do it, but first it is important to clarify that in Greek, there is a difference between formal and informal language. Let's first see how Greek people introduce themselves in an informal situation. Γεια, λέγομαι Χρυσή, χαίρομαι πολύ. Hi, I'm Chrissy, pleased to meet you. Γεια, λέγομαι Χρυσή, χαίρομαι πολύ. Start by saying γεια, λέγομαι, then say your name. Γεια, λέγομαι Χρυσή. Finally, say χαίρομαι πολύ. Γεια, λέγομαι Χρυσή, χαίρομαι πολύ. And now let's see the same sentence in formal speech. Χαίρετε, λέγομαι Χρυσή Παπαδοπούλου. Χαίρομαι πολύ για τη γνωριμία. Hello, my name is Chrissy Papadopoulou. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Χαίρετε, λέγομαι Χρυσή Παπαδοπούλου. Χαίρομαι πολύ για τη γνωριμία. So what has changed from the previous introduction? Let's take a close look at this together. Ya has been substituted with the formal greeting χαίρετε, Greek for rejoice. Λέγομαι Χρυσή has not been changed. Λέγομαι stands in both cases for my name is. However, during a formal self-introduction, we also say our last name. So I said Χρυσή Papadopoulou. Here, you would say your full name. Finally, there is one more change to the ending. We added the words για τη γνωριμία to the phrase χαίρο πολύ. In informal cases, we can just say χαίρο πολύ, literally, I'm happy or pleased. But in formal cases, it's good to add για τη γνωριμία, which is Greek for the acquaintance, or in this case, your acquaintance. One more time. The informal way to introduce yourself in Greek is ya, λέγομαι Χρυσή, χαίρο πολύ. The formal way to introduce yourself is χαίρετε, λέγομαι Χρυσή Παπαδοπούλου, χαίρο πολύ για τη γνωριμία. Now it's time for Chris's insights. Greek people usually shake hands when they meet someone, sometimes extremely vigorously. So accompany your introduction with your best firm handshake. And if you're not sure if you have to use the formal or the informal greeting, χαίρο πολύ, is not considered rude. It is acceptable and used widely even in formal situations. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to use good manners as we thank people. Είστε έτοιμοι? Are you ready? Ξεκινάμε, so let's start. There are several ways to thank someone. Let's start with the easiest. It is just one word, ευχαριστώ. Ευχαριστώ. Ευχαριστώ means thanks. When saying thanks very much, you just need to add πολύ. Ευχαριστώ πολύ. Ευχαριστώ πολύ. Πολύ means a lot, so ευχαριστώ πολύ is like saying thanks very much. During the last lesson, we talked about both the informal and the formal way of speaking Greek. Ευχαριστώ is a casual way to thank someone. If you want to be more formal, there is another phrase you should use. Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ or σε ευχαριστώ πολύ. Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ or σε ευχαριστώ πολύ. Let's break this phrase down. The σε or σας before ευχαριστώ πολύ literally means you in the second person singular and the second person plural, which is the form used for being formal in Greek. In the plain ευχαριστώ there is no you included, but here we use it and make the phrase sound more polite. Depending on the formality of the situation, we will use σε or σας. How do you answer? It's easy. There are basically two different ways to do it. The first is τίποτα. Τίποτα. Τίποτα literally means it's nothing, but it is the equivalent of you are welcome. The other way to say you're welcome is the expression παρακαλώ. Παρακαλώ. Literally, this phrase means I beg or please, but it has become a common and polite way to respond to someone thanking you. So when someone says ευχαριστώ to you, we can simply reply with τίποτα or παρακαλώ. Now it's time for Chris's insights. If you're not sure about whether to use ευχαριστώ or σας ευχαριστώ πολύ, keeping it simple is always your safest bet. You don't have to worry about formal or informal situations. Ευχαριστώ can be used with just about anyone, anywhere, and at any time.
10 questions you should know. These are good icebreaker questions that you can ask when speaking casually to someone or that others can ask you. So let's start. Πώς σε λένε? What's your name? There are a few ways you can ask someone's name in Greek, but the most common one is πώς σε λένε? Πώς σε λένε? What's your name? If your name is Stella, you can answer by saying με λένε Stella. My name is Stella. Basically, it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. You can always use the part με λένε and just add your name the way you pronounce it in your language. What I mean is that you don't convert it to a Greek name. I say this because many of you ask me, what's my name in Greek? Some names do have an equivalent, usually Christian names such as George or Catherine. But to be honest, it's best to just use your name as it is. Τι κάνεις? How are you? Let's move on to the next question, which is, I think, the most frequently used in everyday life, and that is, τι κάνεις? How are you? Τι κάνεις? You can use it when you meet someone, when you are talking on the phone, or when you are texting someone. Sometimes Greeks don't even say hi and jump straight to τι κάνεις or op, τι κάνεις? That op is an exclamation like hey. A common and polite answer to this is καλά, ευχαριστώ. I'm fine, thanks. Τι κάνεις? Καλά, ευχαριστώ. Από πού είσαι? Where are you from? Από πού είσαι? Where are you from? If someone asks this question to you, then they probably want to know which country you're from. If you're in Greece and you ask one of the locals, then they will probably tell you which city, town, or island they are from. For example, είμαι από την Αθήνα. I'm from Athens. Πότε είναι τα γενέθλιά σου? When is your birthday? Πότε είναι τα γενέθλιά σου? When is your birthday? Πότε είναι τα γενέθλιά σου? If your birthday is, say, on the 25th of April, you can say είναι στις 25 Απριλίου. It's on the 25th of April. You will always need to use the prepositional article στις before the day of the month, except if you were born on the first day of the month. In that case, you need to say την πρώτη, meaning on the first. That's because you need the singular and not the plural. Πού μένεις? Where do you live? Πού μένεις? Where do you live? It's good to wait a little before asking this question, otherwise people might think you're being indiscreet. A typical answer would be μένω στο Ηράκλειο. I live in Heraklion. Here the article στο might vary, depending on the city or location, as it will always have to match the gender of that word. Πού δουλεύεις? Where do you work? Πού δουλεύεις? Where do you work? Πού δουλεύεις? Another question that might sound a bit indiscreet. Perhaps asking first, με τι ασχολείσαι? What's your occupation? Might be a good idea. A common answer could be, δουλεύω για μια εταιρεία κινητής τηλεφωνίας. I work for a mobile communications company. If that person doesn't mention the company name, this means they want to keep it for themselves. But if you are really curious and want to be nosy, nonetheless, then you can go ahead and ask, για ποια εταιρεία? For which company? Okay, moving on. Ποιο είναι το τηλέφωνό σου? What's your phone number? Let's say you met someone really interesting and you want to keep in touch. You'll want to ask for their phone number. In that case, you can say, ποιο είναι το τηλέφωνό σου? What's your phone number? Ποιο είναι το τηλέφωνό σου? And the other person can say, το τηλέφωνό μου είναι το 555-03-76. My phone number is 555-0376. This actually sounds like a Hollywood movie phone number. In Greece, numbers don't start with 555. Mobile numbers start with 6 and landlines with 2, usually. The country code is +30 if you dial from abroad. And that was the useless fact of the day, courtesy of your Greek teacher, me. Πού έμαθες ελληνικά? Where did you learn Greek? Πού έμαθες ελληνικά? Where did you learn Greek? Πού έμαθες ελληνικά? This is a question you will probably get a lot. You can say, έμαθα ελληνικά κάνοντας ιδιαίτερα μαθήματα. I learned Greek through private lessons. Or, έμαθα ελληνικά με το GreekPod101.com. I learned Greek with GreekPod101.com. Σου αρέσει το ελληνικό φαγητό? Do you like Greek food? Σου αρέσει το ελληνικό φαγητό? Do you like Greek food? Pretty sure most of you do. So you can say, ναι, μου αρέσει πολύ. Yes, I love it. If you don't like it, you can also say, ναι, μου αρέσει πολύ, unless you purposely want people not to like you. In that case, you can say, όχι, δεν μου αρέσει. No, I don't like it. And open Pandora's box. I wouldn't want to argue about food with a Greek, so I'm just warning you. Έχεις πάει ποτέ στην Ελλάδα? Have you been to Greece? Έχεις πάει ποτέ στην Ελλάδα? Have you been to Greece? Obviously, a question others will ask you. If you haven't been to Greece, you can say something like, όχι, αλλά θα ήθελα να πάω. No, but I'd like to go. Who knows, maybe you'll get invited to someone's summer house. 10 phrases you always want to hear. We all need to hear some good words from time to time, a compliment or a motivational comment, so why not learn these phrases and spread some smiles around you? Let's start. Φαίνεσαι καταπληκτικός σήμερα. You look great today. Φαίνεσαι καταπληκτικός σήμερα. You look great today. This is a phrase to use when you refer to a man. When you refer to a woman, you should say φαίνεσαι καταπληκτική σήμερα. Μου λείπεις. I miss you. Μου λείπεις. I miss you. Be careful if you want to use this one-on-one with a friend. This might be taken the wrong way, as it sounds like an expression of your love feelings for someone. If you want to say to a close friend that you miss him or her, try to make it more neutral by adding something in the end. For example, for a man you can say something like Μου λείπεις ρε κολλητέ, I miss you buddy, or Μου λείπεις φίλε μου, I miss you my friend. And for a woman you can say Μου λείπεις ρε φιλενάδα, I miss you girlfriend, or Μου λείπεις φίλη μου, I miss you my friend, or even Μου λείπεις ρε κορίτσι, I miss you girl. Of course, in plural, there's no chance people will receive it as a love feeling expression. Έκανες σπουδαία δουλειά. You did a great job. Έκανες σπουδαία δουλειά. You did a great job. Θα υπάρχει ένα bonus στο τέλος του μήνα. There will be a bonus at the end of the month. Θα υπάρχει ένα bonus στο τέλος του μήνα. There will be a bonus at the end of the month. Sweet. Είσαι ένας εξαιρετικός μάγειρας. You're an excellent cook. Είσαι ένας εξαιρετικός μάγειρας. You're an excellent cook. Again, this is for a male listener. If you are talking to a woman, you should say Είσαι μια εξαιρετική μαγείρισα. Κάνε ένα διάλειμμα, θα καθαρίσω εγώ σήμερα. Take a break. I'll do the cleaning today. Κάνε ένα διάλειμμα, θα καθαρίσω εγώ σήμερα. Take a break. I'll do the cleaning today. Don't mind if I do. Κέρδισες. You won. Κέρδισες. You won. Now that's something I like to hear, especially if that's about the lottery. Ka-ching! Είχες δίκιο. You were right. Είχες δίκιο. You were right. An answer to this could be Το ξέρω. I know. Σου έφερα κάτι ιδιαίτερο. I brought you something special. Σου έφερα κάτι ιδιαίτερο. I brought you something special. Well, that depends on what's special for you. Bravo. Well done. Bravo. Well done. This is borrowed from Italian, but in Greek we don't distinguish male from female for bravo, like Italians do with bravo and brava. It's always bravo in Greek, regardless of the number and gender of people it refers to.